Hi class, due to the MCO, so this semester we'll conduct the sharing through online. This will be the first sharing session. The topic we are going to talk about is the world of engineering. Civil engineering is an engineering discipline that deals with the design, construction, and maintenance of the built structures such as buildings, bridges, roads, railways, channels, dams, reservoirs, and spillways. Civil engineering is the oldest discipline after military engineering, also the starting point of engineering branches. Civil engineering is the oldest branch of engineering which had begun to commence between 4000 to 2000 before century in ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia when humans started to abandon a nomadic existence which caused a need for the construction of shelter. There are many sub-disciplines under this civil engineering as per listed here. Basically, those common sub-disciplines in Malaysia as per highlight in purple, which are structural engineering, environmental engineering, geotechnical engineering, construction engineering, transportation engineering, and water resources engineering. In the ancient world of civil engineering, there are 7 wonders as per stated here. The first one is the Great Pyramid of Giza, which constructed between 2500 years before century and it was built by the Egyptians. It is believed to have been built as the tomb of 4th dynasty Egyptian pharaoh Khufu. Until now, it still exists and the modern location is at the Giza necropolis in Egypt. The second one is the Hanging Garden of Babylon, which constructed around 600 years before century. It was built by the Babylonians. This Hanging Garden of Babylon is a multi-level garden reaching 22-meter height, which is equivalent to about 7-story building and completed with machinery for circulating water. Large trees grows on the roof. It was built by the Nebuchadnezzar II for his wife, Amytis of Media. This Hanging Garden of Babylon being destroyed after 1st century due to the earthquake, and the modern location for this Hanging Garden of Babylon is at Al-Hila, Babia province in Iraq. The third wonder is the Mausoleum of Helicarnassus, which constructed in year 351 before century. It was built by Carians, Persians, and Greeks. This mausoleum is about 45 meters tall, which is equivalent to about 11 stories of building, with each of the 4 sides adorned with sculptural reliefs. Origin of the word mausoleum, the built for Mausolus, a satrap in the Persian Empire. It being destroyed in year 1494. The original structure was destroyed and the new structure was built and was damaged by an earthquake, eventually disassembled by the European Crusaders. The modern location for this mausoleum is at Bodrum in Turkey. The fourth wonder is the statue of Zeus at Olympia, which the temple constructed between 466 to 456 year before century, while the statue being constructed in 435 years before century. The builder is Fritz. It occupied the whole width of the axis of the temple that was built to house it and was 12 meters tall. which equivalent to about four-story building, and it being destroyed in 5th to 6th century caused by the fire. The modern location for this statue of Zeus is at Olympia in Greece. The fifth wonder is the lighthouse of Alexandria, which constructed in 280 years before century by the Hellenistic Egypt. This lighthouse is between 115 to 135 meters high, which equivalent to 45-story building. It was among the tallest structures on Earth for many centuries. The name of the island that it was built on, Paros, eventually became the Latin word for lighthouse, Paros. It being destroyed at about year 1303 to 1480 caused by earthquake. The modern location for this lighthouse is at Alexandria, Egypt. Temple of Artemis at Ephesus is constructed in year 550 before century, and it was built by the Lydians, Persians and Greeks. It dedicated to the Greek goddess Artemis, and it took about 120 years to build. Herostratus burns it down to achieve lasting fame, and then it was rebuilt by the Alexander the Great, only to be destroyed again by the gods. The temple of Artemis first time was destroyed by the Herostratus in year 256 before century, and subsequently by the gods in year 262. The modern location for this temple of Artemis is near the Sircut, Izmir province in Turkey. The number seven wonder is the Colossus of Rhodes. The date of construction is about 292 to 280 years before century, and it was built by Greeks. It's a giant statue of the Greek god Helios, which is the god of the sun, with the height of 35 meters tall, which equivalent to about 11 to 12-story building. The date of destruction is 226 years before century, which caused by the earthquake. The modern location for this Colossus of Rhodes is in Rhodes, Greece. Okay, now we're going to have a look on the seven wonders of modern world as per listed here. The first one is the Channel Tunnel, which start at the United Kingdom and end at France. The second one is the CN Tower, or also people call it as the Canadian National Tower, which located at Toronto, Ontario in Canada. The third one is the Golden Gate Bridge, which located at San Francisco, California and Marin County, California. The fourth one is the Itaipun Dam, located at Brazil. The fifth one is the Empire State Building, which is a skyscraper in New York, US. The sixth one is the Panama Channel in Panama. And the seventh one is the North Sea Protection Works, which built to prevent the Netherlands, which is the below sea level, from being flooded during severe storms. Okay. Now you like to compare the functionality for the seven wonders of ancient world and the seven wonders of the modern world. From here we can see that based on the function of the seven wonders of ancient world, it can be divided to four categories. The first one is for the religion use, or is related to the religion, which are the statues of Zeus, the temple of Artemis, and the colossus of the roots. The second category is for the recreation, which is the hanging garden of pavilion, and the third one is act as graves, which are the mausoleum at Helicarnassus and the Pyramid of Egypt. And the last one, which act as the infrastructure, is the lighthouse of Alexandria. For the seven wonders of modern world, we can see that they are basically divided into two categories based on their function. The first one, in red color, are those act as infrastructure, which are Channel Tunnel, CN Tower, Golden Gate Bridge, Itaipun Dam, Panama Channel, and the North Sea Protection Wall. While another category is about the building, main building structure, the Empire State Building, which is a skyscraper. Okay. Then how about the Malaysia? Actually, Malaysia, we also got the wonders of Malaysia. The first one is the Penang Bridge. Second one is the Petronas Twin Tower. Third one is the stormwater management and the root tunnel, which we also call it as the smart tunnel. And then the next one is the Federal Territory of Putrajaya Wilayah Persekutuan Putrajaya. Okay. The next one is the KL Tower or Kuala Lumpur Tower. Okay. So after we study the seven wonders of ancient world, modern world, and also the wonders of Malaysia, we would like to zoom in to the scope of civil engineering. Most individuals will find it difficult to think of a life where civil engineers do not exist, whether it is building a road, building, sewage system, dam, bridge, or airports. One would have to think of a civil engineer almost immediately. Yeah, all this we need a civil engineer to assist. Only we can have all this building or development. Actually, civil engineering is the indicator of economy for a country and also the backbone for development. Why we say like this? Because when during the good economy time, if factory want to expand, government want to build new infrastructure, all these involve engineers. So during the time when the civil engineer with good business, indirectly it show that the economy is good. Then who moved the civil engineering? The answer is civil engineer. Who is an engineer? Engineer is the individuals who combine knowledge of science, mathematics, and economics to solve the technical problem that confront society. Civil engineer is a problem solver for civil engineering. There are two major elements for an engineer to take care. The first one is the safety and the second one is economy. An engineer need to ensure that things he or she design must be safe, and then subsequently he need to take care the cost to make sure the design is most cost effective to the client. Okay, there are many great engineers in this world. Today we are going to explore to some. The first one is the John Bradfield, second is the Olive Dennis, and the third one is the E. Sri Haram. John Bradfield is famous as the designer of Sydney Harbour Bridge. He is an Australian and he born in year 1867. In 1933, John Bradfield being awarded the Peter Nicol Russell Memorial Medal by the Institute of Engineers Australia, which he founded in 1990. In the same year, John Bradfield is appointed as a companion to the Order of Saint Michael and Saint George. In the following years, John Bradfield being awarded the Telford Gold Medal by the Institution of Civil Engineers. and in year 2007 he being awarded the Queensland Institute of Engineers Lifetime Achievement Award. Olive Dennis is a lady engineer. She is an American and born in year 1885. Olive Dennis is the second woman to obtain a civil engineering degree from Cornell University. She is the first woman to become a member of the American Railway Engineering Association. In 1940, Olive Dennis was named as one of the nation's 100 outstanding career women. The third one is E. Sriharan. Sriharan is famous as Metro Man. He is an Indian and he born in year 1932. He was studying civil engineering from Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University in Kakinada. Sriharan being awarded for the Padma Shri in 2001 and he was awarded the Chevalier de la Légion d'honneur in year 2005 and in year 2008 he was awarded Padma Vibhushan. He plays a key role in the building of the Konkan Railway and the Delhi Metro. From all these three engineers, basically they are the infrastructure engineer in the civil engineering world. So from here we can see that infrastructure engineer, they have great contribution to the infrastructure development of their country. Okay. Inside this picture, you can see that they got a staircase and also a escalator. People all are rushing to go for the escalator, but seldom they got people they want to walk up with the staircase. This is the attitude of the modern people which always wish to go for fast track. But is fast track means the best way or the most correct way? We'll talk about it later through a story sharing. Okay, what is ethics? Ethics is a Greek word. Ethos means character, is a philosophy science that deals with the rightness and wrongness of human actions. It refers to the most important values and beliefs of an individual and or a society. These beliefs help shape the characters of people, teach them what is good and bad. It is concerned with what is good and right for society. So ethics, actually we can consider it as a ruler to measure what is good and right for a society. Okay. Then now we scope down to the professional ethics. Professional ethics is referred to the ethical obligation that people in professional occupations have to follow because of their professional status. Every occupation involves its own characteristic ethical obligation. For example, firemen have a special obligation to rescue people from burning buildings even when it can be dangerous to themselves to do so. Professional ethics actually is related to the occupational ethics and professionals should act in the interest of a public good. For example, if a doctor during his way driving to the hospital for work, when he saw in front got an accident and the victims of the accident is his wife with a very light injury and a motorcyclist with serious injury. As a professional doctor with professional ethics, of course he need to rescue the motorcyclist with the serious injuries first instead of the wife who he loves so much. Okay. From the professional ethics, we can scope down to engineering ethics. Engineering ethics actually is the moral issue and the decision confronting individual and the organization engaged in engineering. It is related questions about the moral ideas, character, policies, and relationship of people and corporation involved in technological activities. Engineering ethics is the activity and discipline aimed at understand the moral value that ought to guide engineering practice, resolving moral issues in engineering, and justifying moral judgment concerning engineering. Which means in a simple word, we can say that engineering ethics is the professional ethics for engineer. Okay, so from this chart, we can see that ethics actually is a quite general statement. Then we can scope down it to the professional ethics, which will related to each occupation. And then from professional ethics, we can focus into the engineering ethics, which related to civil engineer. Okay, why we study ethics? By studying ethics, it brings us the clarity in thought. It also helps to strengthen the skills in moral reasoning and resolving the conflicts. Through study ethics, it helps us to face the moral ethical dilemmas with confidence because it is a guideline or a Bible for us to make decisions during dilemmas. As such, it can reduce and avoid the stress which caused by the dilemmas. People who want to be ethical, they would like to keep their conduct good in order to raise in their own self-esteem. Thus, it can be explained to them that some of their actions are not consistent with what is ethically expected of them. They would let change, becoming virtuous. For example, a person with a religion, because all the way the religion education already teach him what is a good thing and the correct thing. So he already got the basic knowledge and guideline for the good and the correct means. So sometimes when he or she unconsciously do something that which might not be so correct, then when people try to advise him or point the correct path to him or her, then he can or she can accept it easily because he already got a basic understanding about the rightness and the correctness. Through study ethics, it also can help us to enforce the ethics and it helps to build a character. Adjusting to and adherence to the organization value, it is great help in the decision making and prioritizing the expectation to be fulfilled. Okay. Why study ethics? Actually, we can link it back to this. Why study ethics? People study ethics is like a people who are willing to take a longer path, work up the staircase, instead of rush for the fast track, which is the escalator, which finally end up the people they put in more effort to work the correct path, they will reach the success faster compared to those who try to rush for the fast track but end up they land to the success in later time. Okay. We are going to share a story about Johnson and Johnson. I believe that everybody know about this brand Johnson and Johnson because they are the largest company in the world that produce the medicine. Johnson and Johnson they got a painkiller called Tylenol, which is the top 10 best-selling chem- painkiller in the market. In about 1980s, this Tylenol occupied 35% of the market demand. In the years of 1982, month of October, it come out in the newspaper that 5% they die after taking Tylenol capsule because the Tylenol capsule inside contain the cyanide. Cyanide is a poisoning material. Okay. At that time, the Johnson and Johnson CEO is James Buck. He don't run away from the responsibility. He immediately called back all the Tylenol in the market. He apologized to the market and he keep advertise to remind the public that never take this Tylenol until they find out the actual reason or until they solve the issue. For this case, Johnson and Johnson they suffer loss over USD 100 million because of the Tylenol which kill 5%. Okay. From the month after 5 people die because of the Tylenol which contain cyanide, the market demand dropped tremendously. The market share for Johnson and Johnson dropped 90%, and then this continues for 3 months. After that, they found out that actually it's not the problem due to the production. The problem for this tragedy actually is caused by a madman which he tried to fill the cyanide inside some of the Tylenol and caused 5% die. But because of the attitude of the CEO for Johnson and Johnson, he willing to face the condition and he tried his very best to solve the problem. Very soon after they find out the actual reason for the tragedy, people start to build people's confidence to this Johnson and Johnson start to came back. And in another 3 months time, their market share shoot up. Then at a time, they even become the top 3 best selling compared to the original, which is the top 10. Okay. From here, we can see that actually professional ethics is very important. If a person with professional ethics, when carry out his work, he will do the work in correct and the right way. In short term, he may facing some losses when the condition come, but after the condition being tackled and settled, people will start to build out the confidence to a person, and then he again by having the professional ethics will doing much better and become successful in the career. Now, I think everybody already understand the importance of ethics. Then our next question is, then how? Or what's the theory of ethics to guide us? Theory of ethics are developed to light up, unify and correct common sense judgments and help to refine the common sense judgment. They have three important uses. The first one is understanding moral dilemmas. Second one is the justifying professional obligation and ideas. And the third is the relating ordinary and professional moral. There are many theory of ethics here. We want to share two examples. The first one is the utilitarianism, most good for most people and the respect for people. personal autonomy. In simple way, we can say that utilitarianism is in general they try to fulfill or take care of most of the people in general. But respect for people, they try to take care individual to individual. The first, utilitarianism. The moral stand is those actions are right that produce the greatest total amount of human being well-being. A utilitarian analysis of a moral problem consists of three steps. The first one is utilitarian must determine the audience of the action for policy in question, those people who will be affected for good or bad. Then the second one is the positive and negative effect of the alternative action or policy must be determined. And the third, the utilitarian must decide which course of action produce the greatest overall utility. Means under this theory of utilitarianism, they are concerned about the people involved and the effects to them. Then from there, they'll make the decision which in general take care of the overall utility. While for the respect for people, the moral stand behind is those actions are right that equally respect each human person as a moral agent. A moral agent is an individual capable of both formulating and pursuing purposes of his own and being responsible for the action taken to fulfill those purposes. The golden rule under this respect for people is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That means under this theory of ethics, they are trying to respect equally to every individual. Okay. The review of these two theories of ethics, utilitarianism is to maximize the total amount of reference satisfaction, even if it means doing an injustice to individual. Respect for people is to respect the rightness of individual, even it means promoting something less than the total amount of reference satisfaction. Okay. So in a simple word, maybe we can take an example like this. During now is the MCO time. Everyone, you cannot go out and find the food that you like to take for your meal. Then only the ketua keluarga can go out to buy the food and the necessity. So if a family is under the theory of utilitarianism, then the ketua keluarga you buy the food generally that everybody will able to take, but it's not the favorite food to everybody. But under the respect for people, the ketua keluarga will try to respect equally to every individual. That means for all the food he purchase, he will take care the taste of all the family member. For example, maybe he will buy the char kway teow for the father because the father loves char kway teow so much, but the mother totally cannot accept the char kway teow. So he will bought the mee goreng for the mother, which is the favorite food for the mother. Okay, so given this fundamental divergence between the two theories, it is often best to analyze a complex moral problem from one standpoint of both theory. If the two theories converge, then no problem. We can have some assurance about the proper course of action. If the two theories diverge, a decision must be made as to which conclusion has priority. For example, it's like this. If the whole family members all like the char kway teow, then under the utilitarianism theory, no problem. Because in general, everyone love the same food, then the ketua keluarga can easily buy the same food. But if under the theory of respect for people and one family, they got people like char kway teow so much, and then hate the also got people hate char kway teow so much, then how? Okay, so in general, moral philosophers have adopted the view that respect for people consideration should take priority over utilitarian consideration, which means that if got percangkahan or divergent in these two theories, the priority should be given to the respect for people. That means for just now example, the ketua keluarga need to take care the individual taste. The ketua keluarga cannot say that, oh, the father liked the char kway teow so much, then he also bought the char kway teow for the mother. He need to consider and respect the every individual equally. That means the ketua keluarga maybe need to buy char kway teow for the mother, for the father, and the mee goreng for the mother. So in general, moral philosophy has an adopt the view that respect for people consideration should take the priority, except in those instances where the violation of rights is relatively minor. Okay, so after this we got two case study. Uh, Students can try to have a look on this case study and try to answer all these questions. If you got any query or you need any assistance, please highlight to us. Thank you.